Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome back to all the participants. So, participants, I hope you are in line with me with regards to this journey of DevOps pipeline onto the Azure cloud, where we are focusing on building a CI/CD pipeline using the open source tools. Before I go ahead and start provisioning the other resources and going into the current topic for today, let me give a quick insight where are we standing till date. So, there will be two parts. One part, there will be a developer who is a contributor to the source code. So it's his code, the GitHub code. So the version control scenario is handled by github.com, where we are hosting our Git code, where we are hosting our code. And to process this, we are using our continuous integration, which is Jenkins, which is expected to pull the code and hand it over to the Maven. So Maven starts to clean the project and build the artifacts. We have generated the artifact var package. At the same time, we have another pipeline, I would say another job, which was to deploy into Tomcat. We deployed into Tomcat, which is not part of our pipeline. It was just to verify whether the code is working or no. I have deployed it into Tomcat, where we have seen I have copied the var file into copied the Jenkins.var package, copied the var package from Jenkins into Tomcat, which was job number 2. It's not required, but it was done to show you how well you have developed your package. Is it working or no? So we found it was working. Now the challenge is what will happen when this Jenkins is building this artifact, and how do you go ahead and store this artifact? You need a kind of storage when this Jenkins is not able to handle. Jenkins is just a build service in this scenario. We are using it as a build service. But we cannot go ahead and store our artifacts inside our Jenkins server. And it is even not recommended. So now we have to find a way that how fast can we go ahead and identify a way to store this. So we have found a way in Azure called Azure Storage. In that Azure Storage, we had something called blob storage. So we did pick this blob storage to store the artifact. For this, we have used AWS Azure CLI. Using Azure CLI commands, we ran the commands and we were finally able to do a file upload. Is that clear, participants? Till this point, are we clear till the storage to the do upload artifact? This is called artifact storage, where we are trying to store our artifacts. Are we clear, participants, till this date? Any questions here? Okay. Now, with no questions, I would like to proceed further. Now, I'll start focusing and start doing deployments into my other cloud VMs. I don't want to use the Jenkins server. See, all these days, we have only been using one single server, which is the master machine, which is basically Jenkins, Terraform, Packer, everything will be running. But in real life, you will not be using one machine for development, deployment. It's something which is away. The machines which are in production will be definitely away from this build server, which is Jenkins. We cannot go ahead and run our application in Jenkins server. See, treat this machine as a Jenkins server. Into this Jenkins server, I can't go ahead and run my application. I need a separate set of instances to run that. So how to go ahead and provision the servers into Azure cloud? Using Terraform, we will go ahead and do it. And in order to go ahead and build images, we will be using Packer. So Packer is now the discussion for us, where we will be using Packer, and we will go ahead and build our golden images in Azure. So Packer will help us to go ahead and build images for Azure. Into that images, we will have everything that we need. We will have our Apache Tomcat along with our myapp.var package, bundled everything into single unit. So this image is going to be used by Terraform, and we will be using Terraform to provision multiple instances. So let's remain on Packer, and let's focus on how to use Packer to build our Azure bundled images. So participants, are we clear with today's agenda? We are going to hit our Packer discussion today. So participants, For Packer to run, what is that our machine should have? Our machine should have Packer running. So let me go ahead and get started. First thing is to go ahead and connect to that machine by doing an SSH into that machine. I would like to do an SSH into my machine. azkp.pem file. And I'm going to open up my command prompt cmd. My key pair is always on desktop. So OneDrive, I will go to desktop and run this command to do an SSH connectivity to get established between my DevOps server. Yeah. So I'm into my DevOps server. So participants, what is the next step? First step or the next step is to take admin privileges, hit CD to be on the root folder, clear your screen, and check whether Packer is running because we need Packer to do our build jobs.
Kumar, sorry to interrupt you. Why we are mentioning OneDrive here?
OneDrive is nowhere related. It's my local machine. It's
okay. So while we are practicing, we don't need to mention that, right? We will just use our full disk. Is that correct?
In my machine, in my local machine, my desktop is on OneDrive. My OneDrive means it's a storage where I'll go and store all my resources. It's personal.
Got it.
It's something which my laptop, it's my feature of the laptop, nowhere related to the cloud. You're not getting it, I guess. This is OneDrive is something which is my laptop. My laptop is associated with OneDrive where I'm trying to store everything. My desktop, my documents, my pictures. Why? Because it's a cloud storage for me, OneDrive. This is nowhere related to our cloud training.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Don't get confused. OneDrive has nothing to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Welcome. So participants, we are on the Packer and we found Packer is not available clearly. So my suggestion is to go ahead and do Packer installation. I want to go ahead and install Packer on my machine. I will go ahead and hit the website, packer.io. So if you look at the way Packer is being branded, it says you can build automated images, create identical machine images for multiple platforms from a single config file. That means even for AWS you can build, even for Azure you can build, even for Google Cloud you can build Packer images. So in this scenario, I am focusing on Azure build. I want to go ahead and build images for Azure. So now we have to go ahead and start hitting Packer installation. So install Packer. On top right hand side, you can see install Packer. And we are on the stage where we can install Packer. And we have to choose our operating system. We are nowhere using Mac OS, not a Windows. No, it's a Linux machine we are using. And that too Ubuntu. So I'll copy all the 3 commands here. I just go ahead and run all these commands. It's done. So Packer has successfully got installed on this machine. Let's do a clear screen first. And let's go ahead and check Packer whether this got installed on this machine. Clearly, the answer is yes, it is installed with 1.8.4. Is that okay, participants? Are we clear with the Packer installation? Any questions on the Packer installation?
No.
Welcome.
Kumar.
Yes, please.
Yeah, before we have already downloaded the Packer, right? For normal, while using in Visual Studio Code, we have downloaded the Packer, right?
That was local machine. Is your local.
Okay.
Now we are
Yeah.
on
Again,
cloud
we have
VM.
to install directly.
Correct. What you said is absolutely right.
Okay.
We are on a
For
Linux
Ubuntu,
machine.
we need to do like that only, right? Again, we have to install from here. Hello.
Let me make it easier for you.
Okay. Okay.
This is cloud scenario. And when we started our training, we are on non-cloud. For that, we have installed Java. We have installed Maven. We have installed Jenkins. We have installed Packer. All these tools and Tomcat also. Why? Because these tools are open source. We have installed. But cloud is something which you have to pay dollars for using it. If you use cloud VM, you start today now. The moment you start, it will cost you, maybe in INR, I'll tell you, it will cost you 8 rupees INR. So let's assume that from last 30 days, we are undergoing training. So 30 into, if you are practicing 4 hours a day, 2 to 4 hours, so 120 multiplied by 8 rupees, 1000 rupees roughly around you would have charged. So that's why I said, let's not go to cloud before we enter into all this billing. We practice everything on local. Tomcat, Java, Maven, Jenkins, Packer. We practice locally. Now you got experience, forget about this and start focusing on cloud because real life scenarios are on cloud. Hope you guys are getting
Okay.
it. So nowhere this non-cloud environment, local environment is related to us. It's only for your practice. Cloud is the real life scenarios you have to practice because now you're starting it. Anyways, you have to start it. So the idea is to keep the billing low. Practice, go and stop it. Practice, go and stop it. So thereby you can bring down the bill because you are only given 13,300 INR as one-time cost. Are we good, everyone?
Okay.
Yes, Kumar.
Okay. Now, let's go ahead and evaluate what Packer can do for us. So I want to go ahead and build Packer for Azure images. Azure images is something that I'm looking at. So let me go ahead and do a search for Azure images. Does it help me to build Azure? I look for Azure. Nowhere it is found. So let's go ahead and do a search on the internet asking Azure and Packer. I want to go ahead and build images using Packer. So it will definitely take us into documentation of Azure. It is very good to keep learning from documentation of Azure. As I said, always try to learn anything that you want from documentation of Azure. It's Microsoft.com, learn.microsoft.com, and it is Azure that you have enter. So right now, we are in this process where we are trying to create how to use Packer to create Linux virtual machine images in Azure. Exactly, we are doing the same. We are trying to build our Packer images. So it is giving some kind of insights. If you look at the way each virtual machine VM in Azure is created from an image that defines the Linux distribution and the OS version. Images can pre-include applications and content. This line, try to remember, guys. Pre-include or include pre-installed. That means you will have those applications that are already installed. Like I want an image now. What is that image I'm expecting? What I'm expecting from that image? Anyone? From that image, I'm expecting in that image, I should have something like Ubuntu operating system. Along with, I should have Apache Tomcat. I want to install my var package, which is myapp.var package. All of that be installed before I use this image. Because I don't want to go ahead and provision servers every time and install application and Tomcat and application. I don't want, because if I do that, it's not easy. I already explained you. See, look at how many images as of now I have, how many instances I have. 1 instance, 2 instance, 3 instance. That means in each of the instance, I should go ahead and install what? Tomcat I should install. I should install Tomcat. And into that installation of Tomcat, I should go ahead and install myapp.var package. Where should I get it from? Storage, I should get and install. Okay, you will manage to install it on 3 machines. Now I'll give you a scenario where there are 30 machines. I'll go ahead and make it to 300 machines. You can't do that server provisioning. You can't go ahead and install Tomcat into those 300 machines. You can't go ahead and install MyApp into those 300 machines. You'll get tired. And it is not possible for you. So for that scenario, we are trying to go ahead and use one single image where everything is available. We are having Ubuntu, we are having var package downloaded and Tomcat also available. One image. So using this image, we'll give it to Terraform and Terraform will spin hundreds of instances. Is this not justified, everyone? Participants, is this justified? Participants, is this justified? Is this concept clear?
Yes, Kumar.
Don't worry if you're not getting it right away. First, let me build an image and then I'll help you. So let's go ahead and look at the way that Azure is expecting us to handle. So Azure is expecting create an Azure resource group first. Okay, let's go ahead and follow the instructions. I will also write down these instructions for you. It is asking me to go ahead and create a resource group. Instead of my resource group, I'll go ahead and give a resource group called hacker-rg. So that, or I already have a resource group. Why should I go ahead and use another resource group here? Because I already created a resource group called Kumar-rg. I'm going to use Kumar-rg in my resource group here. We do already have a resource. Why should I go ahead and create a new resource? I do have a resource group. I'm going to use this resource group. Next step. What is the next step? Next step is it is asking me to create Azure credentials. Now, participants, very, very important. Please pay a little more attention understanding this. What is basically a Packer? Packer is just a software. So this Packer have to go ahead and connect to your Azure account. Am I right, participants? Why it should go ahead and connect to your Azure account? Because it has to go ahead and create images inside your account. Am I right? Participants, am I right? Packer has to go ahead and create images in your account because Packer is a software which is going to build images. So in order to build images, Packer have to have right to create images in your account. Example, I'm asking you to create images in your account. You don't need any prevention. You don't need any permission because you will go ahead and create images in your own account. But if I have to go ahead and create images in your account, participants, you will have to give me permissions, correct? There are 2 ways to understand. Let's say this is your account. Your account. In your account, you can go ahead and create your own images. Am I right? But if it is your account, if it is you can go ahead and create your own images. But if it is me, I'm outsider. If it is me, Kumar, you have to go ahead and give me, Kumar, we will give you privileges. From that privileges, you have to go ahead and use those privileges and create it. Am I right? To enter your account, I should have privileges. In the same way, software like Packer should have authentication to connect to your account. So this is where service principles come in. Did you get the logic now? So we have to create a service principal. Using that service principal, Azure will have a right to create images in your account. Hope is this clear, everyone? How many of you did not understand this? How many of you did not understand this?
Yes, Kumar, I did not understand it.
No problem. See, when you go ahead and enter into someone's premises, don't you think you should have right to enter into someone else's premises? Let's say from your flat, or let's say you are entering into your new office. So your new office should go ahead and give you an employee ID to go ahead and enter. Let's say if you are entering into your office will allow only if you have an ID card saying that, yes, I am an employee of this company. Only then only it will allow. Am I right?
Yes, Kumar. Only if you have the access to enter, then only you can enter.
Correct. Now, who has to enter into our system? Who has to enter into our system? Into our account?
Us. We only need to enter.
No, Packer have to enter now. Packer have to enter and Packer have to create images for you. So Packer should be given an ID card. This is what is called ID card, service principal. So we are giving a service principal to Packer saying that Packer, you take this service principal. Because of this service principal, you can create images in respective accounts. Now you are clear? It has a user, see, it has a username, it has a password, it has entry to make an account entry. Okay?
Yes, Kumar.
Packer authenticates with Azure using service principal, correct? And Azure service principal is like a security identity, like your identity card that can use with apps, services, and automation tools like Packer. You can control and define permissions as to what operations that service principal can perform in Azure, correct? So we have to go ahead and create now a service principal. So we need this service principal. We created. So what is the command? AD service principal create for role base -role. It is now given contributor to which subscription you want to allow and what are the permissions. So subscription ID participants, you will find it inside your account. If you go ahead and visit your subscription, you will find your subscription ID. Yeah, this is your subscription ID participant. Okay, now let me go ahead and continue with the subscription ID. Yeah, you guys were asking me, right? Look at the cost. It's too heavy. It's just that it's going $2,300. Why? Because I'm using cloud services. That is the reason I'm worried, participants. For you also, you will get the billing. So in order to minimize that billing, I'm trying to avoid you to go ahead and use cloud services before training. Before training, I made you not to use cloud service. Otherwise, bill will happen. It will go up to 3,000, 4,000, 6,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. It will not stop. So in order to minimize your billing, I made you to use non-cloud services like Packer, Vagrant. Vagrant we have used. So subscription ID is this one. So we should go ahead and replace our subscription ID. So let's wait and create the service credential. Just do a login. Okay, I'm going to do a login. I'll ask you to go ahead and do a sign in. Code. This is a code. Give an approval into your account. This is my account. I've given approval to my account. So I hope by now it is done. Yes. So now I have this account. Let me go ahead and rerun the command one more time. Not allowing me to create participants, role, scopes. Value of identifier, URIS property must be a verified domain of the organization or subdomain. What is that? Not sure about it. Let me just do a little search on this on the internet. Give me a minute, guys. Let me understand what does this letter is all about.
Okay, Kumar.
Do one thing. We'll just run this only contributor and scopes very specific to okay. If this is not a solution participants, we can go ahead and do search from service principal from Azure Active Directory also service principals. So how to go ahead and get it done, participants, is that this is little typical, but remember the process. I'll go to my Azure Active Directory. You can create even from console if you are unable to create from CLI. You can create from Azure console or Azure portal, where you will see something like right now I have 3 applications. And participants, if you're not using them, you can go ahead and drop them in. Once again, I'll show you the process. Type in Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, Azure Active Directory. If not happening, if you're not able to create from console, you can create it from, if you're not able to create from CLI, you can create it from console. Here it is. Right now, there are 3 apps that I want to go ahead and use. App registrations. See, it is getting created. It is getting, you can clearly see it is getting created, but I don't know what is happening. See, CLI 2022 something is getting created, but let's go ahead and create a new registration. This time I'll go and give it the name as packet. And we give an equal packet. This directory only. This is optional and do a registration. This guy is giving optional and I don't know why this. Now we have all we need participants, we are able to create. So we did get our credentials. I did get my credentials. So I'm going to go ahead and keep these credentials. Application ID, that is client ID. Let's keep this page open. Now let's go ahead and continue because I'm able to create from console or portal. So you should be actually getting something like this. The output should be something like this. So let's keep this output. So client ID, that is your application ID. This is your application ID you got from here. Next, object ID. Not object, client secret. I need the credentials. So we'll go ahead and generate the credentials. I need a secret. Client secret. Secret means like password. We got the secret ID. Tenant ID. In which tenant this image got created? Tenant ID. So this is your tenant ID. So now you have client ID, you have client secret, you have tenant ID. These are required. We were not able to create from the command. Command is not able to get through. So command is not working for me. So I am just using this. And here, what is the subscription ID? And the subscription ID. Okay, so participants, this is my resource group. And this is my subscription ID. All these are not required. It is not getting through. So use portal to do your creation. Next step. What is the next step? Next step is to go ahead and define a Packer template. Define Packer template. So if you go ahead and look for the Packer template to build images, it says you can create a template as a JSON file. Okay. In this template, you define builders and provisioners that carry out the build process. Packer has a provisioner for Azure that allows you to define. Cool. So let's go ahead and use this Packer code. Okay, and these credentials we needed, right? So the credentials are available here. Subscription ID. All these details that are required, I'm able to make them ready. The values. Client ID, client secret. And good. So participants, do you see now? I have created a Packer code. Save as. This is my build AMI. Build Azure-image using Packer. Packer.
Kumar.
Yes, yes.
In resource group name, they have given my resource group. So do we need to change the resource group name or?
Yes, I'm
In the
going to
code.
change that. I'm going to change that. I first entered these values, saving it. Now I'll change it. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
okay.
I appreciate it. So managed image resource group name. What is a resource group name? Kumar-RC, which I've created. Image name, my packet image. Cool. OS operating system, image, deployment, cool. So participants, now you don't need to go ahead and think what is this all about. The good thing is it's one time you will write. One time you will go ahead and write this. I'll explain. If you look at this code is basically comprising of two things. What are the two things? Builders and provisioners. Just remember, in a packet template, it's only one time that you write. What you want to do a build process, what you want to do as part of the provisioning. So build means what image you want, where you want to build that image build information. Provisioning means what you want to provision inside that image. This is something that you will mention. Everyone, are you with me, people? Hello? There are two things that you have to remember in this. Builders will go ahead and build, provisioners will go ahead and provision resources into your account. Everyone, are you with me?
Yes, Kumar.
There are two things that you have to understand. You have to make an attempt to understand what is builder. Builder means into which account build. What is that you want to build? What is the source image you want to use? How do you want to build an image? How do you want to go and create that image? What is, once you finalize your builder, what you want to provision inside that image? You will mention that. Is that clear, everyone? Hello? Participants, are we good? Now, what I want to do is, I want to go ahead and start building an image for me with these credentials. Now, what I want to do is, I want to go ahead and update, upgrade, install. Here I will install Tomcat because we need Tomcat, right, participants? Tomcat to be installed because we need Tomcat. And into that Tomcat, what we normally do, participants, if you go ahead and remember the path, where we go ahead and put the path, where we go ahead and put the path, our application cd /var/lib, I guess in top 9 apps folder. In that, you will go ahead and download file from storage, Azure storage. Okay, if you go to containers, you will find that image, participants. Var packages, and here that application is available. So I want to go ahead and run that application. Is that clear now, participants? I'm installing Tomcat, going to Tomcat Web Apps folder to run that application. Clear, everyone? Are we done? This is what I want to go ahead and build an image. Tags I don't need. Is that image clear? Is that image? Yes, please.
What is that wget you have mentioned right after the Tomcat file name?
wget means it will download. Like we have,
Okay.
this is what is wget in the AW. This is upload. wget means
Okay.
download. We are downloading
Okay.
that file. Okay. Now let me go ahead and start building that image. I'll go ahead and say any nano. That means I'm creating a file called build hyphen azure hyphen image dot json. Copying this code. After this, what is that we have to do after the file is created? As per the documentation, we are supposed to go ahead and use the image packer, build the name of the JSON file. Packer, build the name of the build file I've given as participants. Build image JSON file. So it says you have given some, not the client secret ID for the secret ID. Okay, I gave some wrong value for it. So let me go ahead and check the secret value. Yeah, sorry, I gave ID. I have to enter the value. So it says it is not able to identify a resource group called RG. If it is not able to create, because I'm guessing my resource group is in US East 2. Exactly. That is the reason. Location, I'll keep it as US East 2.
Kumar, we are using the VM size I think wrongly mentioned even in this.
Tell me, you are saying something.
I think VM size standard ES2 underscore V2. In your V resource group under that VM size is different, right?
Okay, I'll come to you. Just give me 1 minute. I'll create a resource group called RG in US also. Then if it is not, I'll come back. Create a resource group called Kumar-RG in US East region. Already says it's there in that region. RG2. RG2 in US East region. Kumar RG2 resource. Where is that resource? Hope it builds now. Cannot locate the managed image resource RG2. Managed image resource RG2. Why like that? Very strange, guys. Cannot locate managed image resource group Packer-RG. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll not use this one. We'll go ahead and ask it to create it. Let it create it. I'm not going to create it. I'm asking, hey, you go ahead and create it. Say 4. So what I'm saying, I don't want to create anything. Let Packer create it. Come on. Why is this creating Azure Resource Manager ARM client? Cannot locate managed image resource group. Very funny, guys. It's like just less. I'll look into it. Let me double check my code participants. Builder client ID. Client ID. Okay, cool. Next. Client ID, client secret, tenant ID, subscription ID, Packer, mesh name. This strange behavior. Okay, we'll do one thing, guys. Let me just evaluate why it is happening. What are the drawbacks in this. I'll check and come back to you. Is that okay, participants? In the meanwhile, you just go ahead and learn about Packer and install Packer. I will work on the Packer code and I'll get back to you. Is that okay?
Kumar, do you have any document creation for Packer? If you have, please share for.
Pardon? Come back once again.
Do you have any document for these steps creating the Packer?
So it's available on internet, right? Just type in Packer.
Yeah.
Packer installation. Do one thing, wait for me. Let me complete the Packer code and then I'll share you the Packer code also. Available. See here. Just one step. So give me some time. Maybe tomorrow, if I get the Packer code updated, I'll share you the Packer code. And then you can install and use Packer code at your side also. Is that okay?
Okay.
Welcome.
Yes, come.